You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering the anime that aired the week of the 2nd of November to the 8th of November in the year 2020. The year continues. And the first thing we're going to talk about this week is Mr. Osomatsu, Season 3, Episode 4, Ichimatsu Radio, Unit Formed, and Matsuyo's Trap. 3 stories this week.
One out of three ain't bad.
Which is the one you...
I thought it was overall an improvement.
Yeah, I like this episode. As long as...
The first sketch went on a bit too long. That's my main problem.
Yes, it's as long as you're accepting of what the show now is. I think I now can see clearly what the show now is, and it's not the same thing it used to be.
It's not the thing we fell in love with.
No. It's it went on a bit long, and I just wasn't feeling it to begin with.
Wait,
I was enjoying it. I think, like, out of the nostalgia factor of, it's like, oh, I remember being a kid and hold down the fucking play and record your own radio shows, and it's like, where did he even get tape? Like that has to be like second or third hand.
You can get tape, Dwayne. Yes,
can you?
Tape has made a hipster revival over the past few years.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
That is, if there's a...
Thank you, thank you, dedicated archivists who are keeping that shit alive.
Oh yes.
I think as well, just like flashing back as well to, I've seen how I can wring some humor out of making a radio show earlier this year, and we have listened to me, and they got a whole program, a whole series out of that. So
Again, someone did this joke better.
Yeah.
Or not this specific one, because this is watching your brother like just go whole hog into his fantasy, I guess.
Yes, it's basically Ichimatsu is acting out an entire radio station in front of Toti, isn't it? Is the one he's interviewing. Toti's worrying about his brother's sanity, and then realizes, hang on, I'm going to be the interview subject on this radio show.
Yeah, I don't think he says one external thing through most of it. It's just like all internal. It's like, really? This is very cringe, bro. Kind of like thinking in his head, yeah.
Then we get Unit Formed, which is... I was like, oh, are they not continuing the robots? But the robots do show up just so you know that this is actually a continuation of the ongoing story.
This is still canon in the robot ongoing story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And essentially, this is a story where we learn more about Nia, the other rival idol, and
yeah, she's got a whole fucking life, man.
Yeah,
she got a lot of shit going on.
All the stupid jokes that we made in the previous appearances of her, they had lasting consequences.
So it turns out that the rich internet investor, she's divorced him, and she's a single mother, and she's trying to be an idol and a single mother at the same time. And this mainly freaks Totoko out when she's asked to hold the baby for about 2 minutes.
That was a very adult thing, like a thing of humor. If someone just hands you their fucking baby, here, mind this for a second, you're just like, Jesus, fuck. Don't put a human life literally in my hand.
Yes.
I get it. I feel
that. I do as well. But it's a nice bit of Totoko being the butt of the humor and of being like the immature one, like the brothers. It's all kind of leveling, and particularly in these stories, it seems to be leveling all the characters out to a uniform level of mockery by putting those two robots in there somehow. And so the part of the gag this isn't really much of a gag, but part of the gag is that Nia's having this big opening of her heart to Totoko, and Totoko is still like, why are babies so soft? Look how tiny he is.
And she's trying to convince her to form a duo.
Yes.
Because Totoko's not doing well, and she's doing okay, but she's not doing well enough to, support a kid and everything.
Yes, they got to take it.
So if they combine their efforts, they can make something better out of it. And they don't even need to rehearse or anything. She's got a great plan.
Yes, they're going to form a unit. That unit is a tag team. As we cut to Shinkiba First Ring, a real location, where they have become a wrestling tag team who appear to be based on Bull Nakano for sure. Totoko's dressed as. And I think Nya's dressed as Akira Hokuto. Would be my best guess as who they're going for with that outfit, particularly the face paint.
I figured some of the moves are probably callbacks as well, like the specifically spitting purple.
Yeah, there's the move. The Totoko hanging off the rope is Shinsuke Nakamura, and the spraying of the mist is Kenji Muto that Nya's doing.
Okay.
And Osomatsu and Karamatsu think this is great, and Charamatsu is completely had his brain broken because he's the only one we saw supporting the pair of them at the start of the episode.
He's at the wrestling show as well. He has the glow sticks and the headband. So, oh no!
Really it makes sense. They're both very angry women, so they don't need to rehearse for being the heels in wrestling. Like, yeah, they're good.
No.
Just walk in and be yourself. They're good.
And then it says to be continued. So I guess this plot line will also continue along with the robots who are also at the wrestling. That's how we knew that this was still part of that storyline, because Osomatsu and Karamatsu had brought them along to the wrestling. And then what I assume cannot be part of the ongoing storyline is Matsuyo's trap, in which their mother kills all of them.
Yeah. Like, yay, this is what I wanted.
This is closer to it, and I think my favorite joke in it is the fact that she's doing all the commenting on the murders of her own children that she's doing while in bed. I'm just like, they got past that trap, you know. He's like, are you gonna get up and stop them or anything? Nope.
Love the face she's put. It's like,
it's good.
Well done, boys. You forgot about this one though.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's the Ichimatsu. It's like saying, "Hey guys, I'll come with you to go down to the kitchen and get the instant noodles out of the drawer." It's like, no, you can't get with us. Why not?
But that was some good bits, all right, of just him, because you let it go. No. Yeah, he's just too loud. But he does go the distance, unlike the rest of the brothers. And I like the first two deaths. It's just like, oh, it's wacky cartoon hijinks. But then the third one is like, oh no, he's absolutely dead.
Oh god, yeah. That's fucking like that bit in the Resident Evil movie where the guy gets diced up by the lasers.
Mincemeat, all right, yeah.
This is like a piano wire or something that's strung. You can barely perceive it in the dark hallway.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the three younger brothers manage to get past the traps and get to the noodles. That we should say that's what they basically. She set traps to stop them eating instant noodles in the middle of the night.
Because she came home with the shopping with the new noodles, putting them in the drawer, and it's like, hey, they're all fucking gone. Did you guys eat all the noodles? You're eating them at night clearly as well. All right, ban on noodles. No eating noodles. And late night snacks are what they crave, and death be damned, I guess.
Yes, and she was.
But they do set off the final trap in the kitchen.
Yes. So. Which is just blowing
the
entire house off.
Just a kill switch, yeah.
Right. This was, I think, outside of the opening episode, this has been my favourite so far. I guess they're doing stuff which is just luxuriating in the voice actors talking, which is like the first things.
Yeah. I can see why they'd go that way as well. Because I mean, like a lot of the, like you were saying, now the humor in that one was just let's Yoshimatsu let him talk too loudly, and it's like, yeah, because that's funny in a situation where you don't want to talk loudly. It just letting them do their thing. And I'm wondering if our expectations have been lowered enough that we enjoyed it more. That's the other thing I'm wondering.
I feel like this soap opera science fiction ongoing story is the other thing, perhaps because they've got bored of writing the sketches and they want to do a through line.
Yeah.
And perhaps coming off the movie as well. They're like,
they want to do more long form stuff.
And then you've got the stuff which is what it used to be, and that's perhaps the thing which is hit and miss the most.
Yeah,
This was a hit with Matsuyo's trap, whereas the magical girl thing from last episode was more of a
big
miss. But
miss.
again, it was very much like the old. It was within the realm of the old show. So yeah, maybe it's just trying to serve too many customers at once.
Yeah. Maybe as well, it's an ongoing science fiction story, which is gets dramatic sometimes. It's like, oh, that's classical Lloyd as well.
Yes.
It made it got a little bit of that you want to do more of too.
But meanwhile, on more sturdy ground, we've got Golden Kamuy, episode 29, The Border. This is a game of two halves. Our first is our cultural lesson about...
I still enjoy those every time.
Yeah, I enjoy it, yes.
Presented so nicely.
What's the tribe they're talking about in this one? Ulita?
Oh, it's the...
Is it Ulita?
Yeah, they're the much smaller tribe that are more nomadic, and they only have two kind of areas they kind of move between.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually like 3 ethnic groups on this part of the island, actually. And
yeah, it does establish, like, early on that Sugimoto was kind of like, he took a bad guess. They're like way beyond that point. They spent all their money like rushing to get as far north as possible, and they're beyond where the Ainu part of the peninsula is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to some trivia about reindeer and shenanigans, and they basically get a family from this tribe are going to take them over the border on their sleds.
And it like initially seems like, oh, I accidentally shot a reindeer thinking it was a regular deer. Well, this works out for us. Well, I have a gift for you. It's like, did you tell him to murder a reindeer? Because this seems like it's going way too fucking well.
Yeah. And then we quickly check back in Tsurumi, who makes sure that it's not going to go very well, as he gives you a little history lesson about the assassination of Alexander II, and that apparently Kuraranki was involved, and so he's tipped off the Russians that he's heading in their direction.
He's the only guy to survive that murder plot, and he was like, well, he was a teenager at the time or something.
The second bomber on the snowy hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was reading up on it as well, that the guy who actually threw the fatal bomb, Ignacy Hirirenci, obviously of Polish descent. Like, got me thinking, Wilk is half Polish. I wonder, is it? And going back to that as well.
Yeah. Well, your man does know Wilk from like way back when they were younger, so that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's as far as I know, Kuraranki was just somebody who like just this is unnamed teenager who we knew, but
he was involved in the organization. Like, he wasn't there on the day or something. Maybe. Yeah.
One guy I didn't catch because like the dude they did bring in, he flipped on the revolutionary group immediately, and they caught all of them and hanged them or sent them to hard labor for the rest of their lives.
So Tsurumi has kindly provided the Russian government with the information.
Hey, that one guy who survived killing your king, the regicide thing, it's coming up your way. So, I mean, like, once he crosses the border, go at it.
And that's what we get in the second half, as it becomes basically a sniper versus sniper, Ogata versus Vasily, as they're basically narrating what it is to be a sniper to themselves, about each other, and it all boils down to snipers are just people who join the army to murder other people. They've got no loyalty to the other people in their units. They just want to murder people. Because
initially, your man's even saying where the father of the other guy, the guide, gets shot, and our boy kind of goes to pick him up, and it's like, why doesn't the sniper take the shot? Is it because, wow, he's so brave going out there to help that injured man? And it's more so, it's like, no, the sniper, I'll tell you when to die.
Yeah.
Which was just like, whoa, okay, I thought you might be like, you're suggesting you're not a great sniper because you have this mercy. And it's like, no, I'm really annoyed that you'd fucking go into my firing line.
No, it's fucking all part of the job. Like when they're making their getaway, they shoot one of the Russian team like in the stomach, not because they're trying to spare him, because no, he'll bleed. He's like, oh, he'll bleed, I'll slow him down.
And like they're saying this to him, like the sniper's saying it to him. They gut shot you so you'd slow us down, and then their boss is kind of like, yeah, fucking go get him, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just sniper versus sniper, and it will all play out in the remainder of the next episode as they're basically staring each other down, waiting for one to give themselves away to the other one.
Yeah, and your Russian man who sent these two boys, like, okay, you guys go over there and have a look. Well, he'll go for them, and as soon as he takes the shot, I'll have his direction. It's like, wait, no, he's looking for me. So he obviously has a different plan for them, and they're like, what's this thing? And then they fucking explode. It's just like, god damn it, using your comrades as bait, like, pretty cool, but that's being a sniper, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I love me some good sniper dueling though, some enemy to gate shit going on here. Look forward to it. And I mean, as much of a bastard as he is, I like Ogata as a character as well.
He's enjoyable to see him being his bastardy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the fucking. You get some kind of internality of the mind of this cold-blooded killer, because he is a fucking maniac. He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to hear.
Like he with a smile on his face wanders into the woods. It's like time for round 2 of the Russian-Japanese war. Whee! It's just like brilliant. I get to kill some Russians. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I think it's just killing people is his favorite thing.
Oh, no, but this is an excuse. Like, war is a good. If you go around randomly killing people, you're a murderer. But if you kill people in a war, you're a hero. And this is like, hey, my shot to be a hero. Wink. Just likes killing guys.
But yeah, the clever thing is having Vasily talk about himself and Ogata, and like the nature of the sniper, and it ties into everything we already know about Ogata. And it just makes it clear that this is not just Ogata's not an aberration in the world of snipers.
Ogata's what you want from a sniper. Yeah.
It also feels a little bit like turning into a sort of Gogor 13 when just do things. I can take on Gogor 13. You know, he's been doing this for decades. He's been getting on in years. I can take him out. No, you can't. No one can take out Gogor 13. So I think Vasily's going to be taking out Ogata unless, well. This has been surprising before, so who knows? It'll be fun anyway.
Then we got extra Olympia Kyklos, episode 24, the final episode, the Tolympics, in which, after running all the way here, regaling with the tale of marathon and collapsing, everyone loses their appetite for war. And he's really beaten up, Demetrius is. They do a really good job of showing his injuries.
Cool. Yeah, I think they must have model like red plasticine under the white stuff, so they could just go like and give him like his muscles a burst or something.
Yeah, that's really nasty, isn't it?
Plasticine is more visceral violence, I guess.
Practical effects are the way to go, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of plays for a moment. I'm still coming through a little too loud, I think. That he's died. But then it becomes clear, because there's like some guys discussing it, and then we see him running in the marathon in the actual Tolympics. And the mayor says he can marry his daughter. And he gets his...
I love the two guys on the hill. It's like, hey, we thought you were dead. He's like, thanks for the support, guys.
That should have mega happy ending. Yeah.
He's about to kiss, and then he travels forward in time once more.
And sucks the professor's face.
And discovers that he has... changed the course of history, and that there is no longer the Olympics in 1964. They are going to the Tolympics, where they still have all the imagery that he invented millennia ago.
And a couple of new ones as well.
The shooting dates out your nose kind of thing.
Yes.
They have all the same sports, presumably.
Yeah, it's different posters as well for when it held in different cities in different years, which are kind of rips on the Olympic logos or posters from the years there. Like, and then to get to the 60s in Seattle, it's just like, so the Starbucks logo, ha ha ha, but it's the mayor's terrifying face, because
the mayor's face is like so common
all over the place. It's kind of creepy. He's like shit-eating grin glaring down on you.
The other. There was loads of good jokes I enjoyed in this one, but the other one I really enjoyed was on the telling of the story of Marathon. That the professor's face became like everyone's face in the scene. That was good.
It started as just this one was he's in the scene, explaining it, but then he's just, why are you all the characters? It doesn't make any sense. One of you is dead.
Dear. Good stuff, and I do like the twist though. It's like, hey, by traveling back and forth between time, you've irrevocably changed things. And even on the point of it's the Tokyo Olympics, the Olympics, and it's just like, no, now it's officially the Olympics.
Yes, it's the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, we even got an official Olympic Tokyo Olympics anthem for it, which plays us out.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yes, a very clever way of getting around getting in trouble with the real Olympics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wish we could get more of this, but I will come back.
Yeah, yeah.
We're to get the Terme Rome one coming up now as well, which I hope we can have carry the baton. That's an Olympics thing for you. But this is one of those carries put down. No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't worry, we're going to get new Galandino episodes soon, so we'll have more old comedic favourites returning into our homes.
Right.
Then we've got Jujutsu Kaisen episode 6, After Rain. Yeah, not dead.
He's not dead. No, obviously not. He's on the cover of the comic. He's not going to be dead this yet.
Well, I guess it's like technically dead twice now. But yeah, it's like that's a bit debatable when you're currently brewing a demonic being inside yourself. I don't even know what the proper way to say it is, but you gotta have a talk out with that guy.
He's
first.
in his, what do they call it, the something domain?
Innate domain.
That's it, yeah.
Thank you.
So there is Sukuna's innate domain, and Sukuna's trying to make a deal with him that he'll bring him back to life on two conditions. Whenever I chant extension, I can take over your body for a minute, but I promise I won't fight, harm, or kill anybody.
Well, he adds I promise
Yes,
I won't kill anyone at the end, but the part 2 is you don't remember you made this deal.
Yes.
So you don't know the conditions under which I fucking pop out, which is like, yeah, I can see how to work in your benefit. Yeah. But he's like, all right, I'll give you a double bonus. I won't kill anyone during it. And he's like, no, just bring me back anyway with no conditions.
He's like, dude, what do you think? It's like, oh, Sukuna, you're just saying that, well, how do I know you won't kill nobody while you control it? Well, this is like the nature of forming a Jujutsu contract. It's like, I have to abide by these terms, otherwise it's death for the two of us, so...
Back then, when you said to your man, like, let me out for a minute, you literally, like, snapped back straight away because you made a pact with him. You said, okay, I will do that. That's a legally binding contract, verbal agreement.
Like, even someone like me who's, like, super best demon sorcerers ever lived can't bend these rules, so...
Because you agree by the rules, so you have to live by them, basically, yeah.
But you just so like, fun, no, I don't want to do that. Like, fun, okay, how about this? We'll fight to the death, and then if you win, it's your terms. If I win, it's my terms. It's like, okay, I'll get you right here.
Immediately killed again.
Yeah.
And then he pops back up in the
morgue.
In the morgue, yes.
Yeah, your man's having a conversation with our very nervous glasses boy, and he's like, "Oh, I could easily kill the higher ups, but I decided to go into education because if you kill the guys on top, the guys below just rise up, and it's exactly the same situation again. But whereas if you educate the new generation, there's a chance for real change." And it's like, there's some really good kids in the third years and shit. And it's like, and this kid would have done pretty well too. If only then the doctor's like, I'm going to do the operation. And it's like, oh, fuck, why am I buck naked on a bench?
Hey, teach. I'm naked.
Welcome back. Just got to fucking roll with the punches, these mad bastards.
Yeah.
Everyone's such a weirdo and used to weirdness that they don't react too badly to it, except for the glasses dude who's like very much so checking him out and going like, "Are you fucking? Is this for real right now?"
But they're gonna still record his death in order to stop anyone else trying to get him killed. In the meantime,
and that'll give him a chance for a training montage.
A training montage of watching loads of movies while getting punched by a soft toy.
That's one of the best training montages. Like, I need you to feel emotions, but I need you to control your output of curse energy. Yeah. So be constantly pumping this into this boxing teddy bear, or he will wake up and punch you in the face.
Did anybody else try to zoom in and try and make out any familiar DVD covers there?
I did pause it on him, and I was just like, I know some of these look familiar, but yeah, someone's got to have put
the
those
thing
together.
is, though, it's because I know that the kind of layout of the back of a DVD very well. It's usually set in a certain way, or it shows some stills of the actors' faces or whatever like that. So it's like this might not be any particular thing. It's just like they just know well how to replicate the way these objects look.
Yeah.
It's tricking my brain.
I mean, while
interesting ones, though.
The other kids are doing their training for the cross-school competition.
Yeah, that's what he's training for as well. He's like, just mark him down as dead until the competition. It's not that fucking long, but it'll give him a chance to train without getting fucking murdered in the meantime. And they're also doing training.
But such as falling practice.
Yeah, the two guys who are good at long distance stuff is like, you got to practice up close stuff. So the panda's gonna like spin you around like a child in a pool.
I mean, I like the shot of that for like Kugisaki's just like going way up, this whoa crazy thing, and to see her body coming into frame every couple of seconds.
It's good. It's good.
And he's also Megumi's. What's he's thinking? Oh God, I am far too loud on this mix. Yeah, Megumi's. He wants to use weapons, but he also wants to carry on using his.
He used to keep his hands free to do
hands free.
Like the little freaking the little monster forms and shit. And we did get that earlier because your man Sukuna does want to come back because he's like, I'm interested to see where this motherfucker goes because he's got potential.
Yeah,
and also he's remembering that as well and going like, he fucking said something about this. I wonder if that's something I can use.
I could have beaten him maybe if I approached myself differently, thinking, and that's making me kind of feel, I had to put some potential to maybe like
save the person
who other people I just didn't even know about or didn't see myself as that. So maybe I should try something else. And it seemed like he's poking his fingers down into his own shadow because that's what his crush technique is based upon. It's like, that's something.
But yeah, it definitely feels like Sukuna's got some sort of designs on Megumi's abilities.
Would he make a better host to pull him physically out of that so he'd actually have his own body? Something like that, maybe.
I guess something along those lines.
There's I think as well like his Shikigami, when he mentions that when they get like destroyed because he lost
one of the dogs. Actually, both the dogs.
And a giant snake, which is really cool. We lost that one straight away. I can see that one again. Was a thing where like you're only going to have like however many left as they get destroyed, but that missing power gets transferred into the rest of them, so that they get stronger. And then I guess eventually you're left with one that's like super strongest one you can ever make. So I wonder if it's something like that he's trying to edge towards.
And so it's not all lightness and happiness. We also check in on our curses at the cafe.
Establish the threat of them, I suppose, because all they've been doing is hanging out in a cafe up to this point, which is like, that's not that threatening.
Where Jogo learns that I can never remember the sorcerer's name. The guy with the stitches on his head. Yeah, he's got a hold of a cursed artifact with something prison something that they're gonna
it's like a trap in prison. So I guess it's like fucking a trap that'll catch anything inside it.
Yeah,
it's implied.
I was like, I do have this thing, and he's like, once he hears that, he's like, oh, I'm fucking super excited now. Give me that. How many Sukuna's fingers do you think I am? And he's like, I don't know, like 8. I'm like, that's good enough. Give me.
But he's showing off by murdering everybody in the cafe.
I did like the thing of like the one guy was like, listen, I got 4 little sisters to feed at home, but I'm fucking quitting right now. It's like, I'm not going to that table. It's like, good instincts, bro. He just got out of there. He's the only guy who survived that entire fucking massacre.
Fucking gnarly how everyone did it. Like so graphically for each and every person as they fucking see their anguished faces as they get engulfed in fire. And everybody goes. Now it's a staff. There's like 2 schoolgirls over there. They get lit up. Everybody fucking goes. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And the only complaint you remember the Stitches had is like, dude, I'm glad I didn't take you to an up-end restaurant. This is fucking ridiculous.
Oh god.
And we end with the thing of
Gojo he's like he's getting a lift in the car with Ichichi.
I forgot where they were going initially. They were going to a meeting.
It's a meeting with like the principals or that one.
Yeah, some higher up.
We got some time. It's like, nah. I'll show up early for once. And it's like, stop the car. I'm getting out. You keep on going.
I like the remember like, you're not gonna kill me if I keep going. He's like, what the fuck do you think I am, dude? Come on. But he has sensed that they're about to get attacked. Correct.
Jogo, he's like, here, I'm coming to fuck you up. Super psyched about it. Let's go. And look forward to that little encounter next week, because I think that will look pretty cool.
Yeah, weirdly, I think the coolest bit in this episode was the bit where he becomes two-dimensional in just depression.
That looked great.
Oh yeah,
I was getting parappa the rapper.
That he can't. He's never going to be able to pull off a Kamehameha.
Oh, man.
He's naming all the super moves he wants to do. Yeah.
So mystery in the world.
Dear.
But it kind of shows them in contrast to Megami and Kugisaki, is that they're at longer range stuff. But Yuji, he's the brawler. He's the best at close range cross. Just got to build on that. You can't do technique, because it's like put energy into a punch. You'll be a real killer. So
I could be wrong about the reordering as well, but when he brought the name tag to the mother of the juvenile delinquent who got killed, and like he's kind of thinking about that guy died, and then he's asking his senpai, is like, hey, what kind of people do you want to save? And she's like, I don't give a fuck. And he's just like, you can see his character change, and I feel like the way they put it in the show, it made it kind of a through line of how his character is thinking about changing anyway.
Yeah. Like, again, you think, I gotta be the cool professional badass. That's what a good Jujutsu sorcerer is. But damn it, my emotions.
And you got to keep control of them, as we were learning in this very episode.
Yeah, I think you get a bit of that from Sakuda as well. Is he's not quite as aimed at going berserk in the real world as he's been in the previous episodes. He's now clearly
he wants access to the real world, because he wants to see what shit might go down or might benefit
plotting
him.
and some sort of long-term plan is in his mind now, rather than just going crazy.
Yeah. I wonder, from reading the comic as well, just based on he's having that kind of effect on him, it's like he's a bit more curious and less kill crazy. And I've seen other things like that. I kind of wondering if Yuji does have some sort of innate curse technique that he doesn't even know that he can do, but something about he can, I don't know, be super sound to people, and it makes him like kind of more docile,
Yeah, they mentioned the line, because they mentioned the line that in your teacher's head, he's thinking, because when he's complaining, he's not going to have any techniques, because
you're never going to have any techniques.
But he's like,
have raw power.
But he's,
not yet.
Yes, but you're going to have some eventually, because you're eventually going to imprint. Sakuda's techniques are going to imprint on you, and like you say, I'm wondering if it goes in both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his curse technique is the power of friendship. I think that's better.
You'll be upsetting your fella in Black Clover saying things like that. Oh man, that's some good stuff. But that's probably not shown in the Black Clover anime for ages yet, because they've gone too fast. But
no,
I think they've only just got into like the hard country now, and after after an in between thing.
Then what else did we talk about or watch? We can talk about With a Dog and a Cat, Every Day is Fun, episode 6. 3 stories this week.
One per episode.
Can I remember what they were?
The dog and the cat are lying on my futon. They're taking up all the space. Like, come on, I lie down for a little kip myself. It's like, the dog is moving to one side as if to say, hey, it's all yours. It's like, oh, doggy, are you an angel? And then looks over at the cat, and it just goes, nah, flops
just
over.
Sort of, cat spreads over the whole thing.
Yeah, a cat
just. I should have known it would happen.
Has more space to spread out now the dog's gone.
Oh god, part 2. What was part 2?
Going to the vet. It's like, oh, most dogs say, hate going to the vet. When they're getting their shots, they get so scared. My dog is like, hey, I'm a dog. Hey, how's everybody going? Hey, I'm a dog too. And this other dog is a big, like,
yes,
big,
how are you?
Pyrenees or like, it's like, oh, hi, how's it going?
because that dog knows why he's there. And then he's up on the thing. He's just happy that the nurse is picking him up, and then the doctor's holding him by the neck. And then there's a sharp pain that he doesn't even fucking notice. And he's like, wow, what a great day. Whereas the cat is much like a film. What's the name of it? The film with the thing that holds. It'll come back to me.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
That's the fella.
The last one is about the games. How have I somehow managed to get louder as I turn myself down?
Calm down, bro.
Is about the games the dog and the cat plays.
So the dog has made a game where he goes to fetch the ball, but then he puts it in your shoe and then chews on your shoe and then sits there expecting to be praised.
You won.
Whereas the cat murders teddies.
That is correct, yes.
The mind games. You're next.
Like, it wasn't even just like regular, it wasn't just chewed on or anything. Like, it was cut from like the neck down to the fucking sternum or something. It was just like
it looked like it was like vomiting up its own guts.
Yeah, like just entirely like fucking whole body wound basically.
But a cat does it so often, it's got to have an arc to it. It can't be the same thing every time. They're devious that way.
Again, it takes way longer to talk about that to watch. It's a good one though.
Yeah, and we got a photo of the cat at the end of every single story as well this week. Right, there we go. Let's try those. Those levels look better. Right, god damn it. This is Discord. I had to reinstall the drivers again. Yeah, now I've readjusted the mixer. I should not be coming through quite so loud. So I probably have drowned you out in the early discussions on the actual MP3 of the podcast. But let us continue with Dragon Quest Episode 6, CROCODINE, the Beast King, in which we meet CROCODINE, the Beast King, and Mom.
Very confusingly named. It's going to be... When they get in any kind of like formal dining setting, it's going to be like really confusing.
Well, you just say, this is CROCODINE, this is Mom. So yeah, they Dai's setting off, all the monsters are wishing him farewell. Then Pop wakes up and he also wants to go with them to revenge his master.
No, not to fight monsters. He just doesn't want to be left on this island full of weirdos and monsters.
Sure. Yeah, I believe Pop is a man who says things which are the opposite of what he really feels most of the time. As we'll get into it when he meets Mom. And butts heads against her. Yeah, so they managed to get themselves lost 3 days into their journey to fight the Dark Lord.
And it was a nice reveal though, with the little girl lost in the woods, and they come save her. It's like, oh, I got lost in the woods. Can you save me? And it's like, actually, we were hoping you could give us directions.
We're good at hitting stuff, but not so good at finding stuff. So
we haven't unlocked the overworld map yet, so we're kind of fucked.
No fast travel, no.
Luckily, they're found by Bulma. Sorry, Mom.
Yes. I've been saying
I was
that
thinking
in my
more,
mind.
What's her name off Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger.
Luca, yeah. That's
Again,
it.
Kira Toriyama.
Yeah.
Hand in the background.
Yep. And Pop immediately takes against her in a way that you assume he's really attracted to her. But because
I mean, like, one of the first things he did is poke her in the boob, so that's a couple of demerits straight away. And then he keeps calling her he keeps saying she's not self-centered, but like she has high fucking notions of her. Stuck up, that's the word he uses. Notions. Which is funny because he specifically, she's like, yeah, come back to the village. We'll put you up for the night. We'll get you a nice dinner. And he's like, we're going to dine at the castle, actually. And he's the one who's fucking stuck up.
Dude, come on, dude.
It's a free fucking meal. We don't know where the fucking castle is. Let's go to the village first. And it's like, nah, they've already been.
Small boy, no one listens to me.
So yeah, they head off to the castle, but then Mom and the little girl notice they've left a bag behind, and the bag's bouncing up and down because inside is the golden slime who has stowed away on the adventure.
Which she's about to shoot, but then the little kid's like, "That's kind of cute, though. We should probably let it off." And she's like, "Who the fuck are these guys with a fucking monster in their bag?"
They're being observed by legally distinct from beholders eye creatures. He'll report back to Holder, and then Holder goes, I better contact the leader of my legion who's in that area, CROCODINE. CROCODINE, how's it going? Have you captured that city yet? And
Who the fuck is ringing me? Oh shit, sorry boss. No, I let the lads do it because like it's fucking easy. Piss easy.
There's nobody decent to fight. They're all cowards. Yeah, the CROCODINE is like one of these guys who is clearly not fully on Holder's side.
I mean, like, he's there for the fight.
Yes.
And he's good for fighting, so that's cool. And Holden's like, yeah, kill this little boy. And he's like, I'm not killing a little boy. It's like, that motherfucker wounded me. Oh, shit.
Yes.
That's a good fight, then. I'll do it.
Don't make me come over there with my Wolverine claws.
What? Yeah, those got there was Avon Strash and the like Destroyer claws or something. I can't remember what they called them in the in between credits bit. Yeah.
He was like saying, just like go fucking and do it and take it seriously. But let's just he's gonna be good fight. But like, no, fucking watch out, all right? You gotta take this. Don't take it lightly. Go in there and smash him. No funny business. Like, all right, gosh.
Okay, let's get round to the second half of the episode, which is just that fight. Which of course is pretty cool again, and by the end of it, dies out on the ropes. Mom appears and then pulls a gun, and Pop's like, shoot the monster, but she turns and shoots Dai instead.
Why would you do that?
Like it's a very stupid cliffhanger because he's like, that gunshot that you did was like the frizz spell or whatever the fuck. It's like, yeah, she's shooting magic out of her gun. She's loading up bullets full of a magic spell and shooting the magic spell. She shot him with heal, or I forgot what heal's called in Dragon Quest, but yeah.
Ouchies.
Ouchie.
Then we got some more of that fight. I guess it's going to finish off based on the preview, probably fairly early on, or at least in the first half episode anyway.
Yeah, probably.
But it's good though. Like CROCODINE, he's a big birdie dude, but he's got tricks. He's got like his axe.
He can't do magic, but he can breathe fire, and he has a magic axe. So he's pretty good.
I just like to kind of do it like that, especially when I saw when a big birdie do, it's like, oh, this is going to be strength's going to be his whole deal. It's like, not that she's pretty quick. He's got these other little hidden techniques to him as well, so he's not just going to punch you. It's like, that's makes it more interesting. There's a bit of a mix up there.
And he's tough as well because obviously the kid cuts through his armband and it just bounces off his fucking armored skin. I didn't like the amount of upshots underneath his crotch. I was really worried I was going to see some crocodile junk, and I did not want that.
Yeah. You have 5 more of these dudes as well. There's
he explains the entire situation to them. Yes, each one is a general of a specific kind of monster army.
There's the undead ones. There's the ones who are all on fire.
The sorcerer
or on ice.
Oh, it was fire and ice. Yeah, so they'll probably use them against each other. Sorcerer ones, dragons, just straight up dragons. He gets all the beast guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Bigfoots and tigers and so forth.
Well, there was a manticore like chasing Pop at one point, so I'm guessing that counts as beast, as monster classifications in Dragon Quest go.
Yeah, I despite looking at various Wikipedias about this series and seeing his name multiple times, it wasn't until this week where I was like, oh yeah, I know Riku Sanjo, the writer of the comic, is the writer of MD Geist.
Oh.
And more importantly, lots of tokusatsu stuff that I enjoy. So he's Kamen Rider Double, Kyoryuga, Kamen Rider Drive. He's doing stuff on Kira Major at the moment. He did he was head writer on the 5th Kitaro series as well. But yes, of course, most importantly, MD Geist.
Yes, the one and only. Well, this shows the range of talent that he has. He can flip between settings and tone like flip of a switch. It's just that good.
And then we've got let me clear my throat. Gymnastics Samurai, episode 5, Battling Samurai, in which they're at what's the NHK something tournament.
Oh, it's not the prelims. It's I think is it the spring tournament? Is it named after the time of year it happens? Or...
I can't remember, but that's the bulk of the episode. The bulk of the episode is the tournament. It's not so much Joe's reaction to your 17-year-old
it was
kid.
really weird. We don't see him actually go. It's just showing the guys who are the top competitors on the scene, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're all against Tetsuo Minamino, the bandana prince. Is only, but most of his like competitors are all they're all in college or of college age. But he's still in high school. He's showing them up, so he's the one they really got to watch out for. It's about that because Tetsuo's like, he's not focusing on them at all. To them, Tammy doesn't exist. They don't exist. He's just here to win. But
they're getting really annoyed by that because he's putting everything into it, and he's actually like throwing off everyone on the second part of the contest because he's just going all out, not paying attention to what anyone else is doing, kind of thing.
Yeah. But see, there is somebody who he does perceive, that's fun Jotaro, because he's always like thinking of him in the background. And we don't see Jotaro so much, I think, because he's just cutting out and doing his thing as well. And it's like, oh, Tetsuo's kind of feeling, maybe I don't exist to him. But Jotaro knows that he exists. He's just like paying much heat to him right now. He's focused on himself, but I think he's kind of reading it, you know?
The only bit we get for that is him doing gymnastics, is him at home eating dinner with the family where he puts down the chopsticks like loudly, where it says, hey, you got 15th on the first day. Way to go. That's very good. I don't know how many people is in there. Is it only 15?
Out of 36.
It's halfway. Okay, that's pretty good. And he puts down the chopsticks angrily. He's like, no, I actually feel fucking better than I've done in fucking years about it. I feel like I've improved significantly.
Yeah.
And
he comes out at 6th overall. And
he goes from 15th to 6th, which is a huge fucking jump. And it like the commentator's like, yeah, it's because a lot of people were making mistakes because of the pressure that exerted by the bandana prince. But like he wasn't taking that pressure, and he's actually refined his form a lot. Is the other thing he's saying. It's just like, okay, that's a bit of an interesting way to show it. Don't show the main character's fucking routines at all. Show everyone else's who he's got to beat.
Yeah, and
that was just because Amakusa was just saying this is just going to be about getting your fundamentals back and sharpening them to the
having
something
to achieve, like having like basically going from 15 to 6, having another person and people to race against in order to improve yourself. Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's the other gymnasts are thinking that I want to call him Mimosa, and that's not his name. They think that he's treating that event the same way that Jotaro was treating the duel with him in the earlier episode, as like, he's above this. Why is he even here? He doesn't need to be here. He's just using us to for training purposes.
So it's like he's learned. He's like, yeah, you can do that.
Well, I'm not sure he is doing that, but that's how they're all reading it, and it's getting in their heads.
Yeah.
And the other thing it does is it shows you all the other gymnastic events that we're not really attending to so far in the series.
I liked how a lot of them were shot, especially the what's the bit where you leap off the springboard? Is it just a springboard thing? I like the way the kind of camera went with that run. It was well shot. Obviously, and they get to do the slow mo of him doing the flips, and I was just like, because you did it in CG, yeah, you can do the slow mo from multiple angles.
Yeah.
I like it. They've taken like sports documentation and used it in their fucking thing, and I'm like, yeah, that works.
But despite all that, none of that's the key plot point. The key plot point is that everybody has to spend the Ray's birthday on July the 5th. Because that's what her dead mum said, that everyone has to be there for the birthday. And oh no.
And they're all like, abso-fucking-lutely. Of course we will, unless the Men in Black show up.
The Men in Black show up, and Leo writes a message saying, I've gone off for ninja training, and your dad has to go to joint training with the Chinese gymnasts in that very month.
The first of the 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's our cliffhanger. Can he tell his daughter that they can't have the birthday together, or can he get them to allow the daughter to come on the training session as well?
Will my dead wife ever forgive me?
Yes. So that's where I really enjoyed this episode. It got the thing that Yuri on Ice had in particularly the later episodes, where it just presents a sports event to you on the screen in animated form.
Obviously, it shows you a lot of like knowing glances and stuff of the characters that we know, and even some of the new ones for context, whereas you don't get that straight from a sports thing. In this one, it's like it changes the context of just presenting a straight sports event.
Yeah, I really like Jotaro's attitude as well, and the way they're getting that across. Is this he's just like dedicated to his craft, and it was contrasted with Tetsuo, was just he's fucking top of his game, but there's still something eating at him. So as much success as he gets, it's just never going to be good enough because there's this one thing in all of them. This guy, like, what's his deal?
He can't admit that I'm better
about
than him.
Gymnastics, not like me.
Like he's competing with it, like this guy needs to admit that I'm better than him, whereas that guy's just like, I fucking love doing this. This is great. I feel great about doing this. This makes me happy and brings me joy.
But I guess the next twist will be when we see how they react to meeting the guy who is clearly better than both of them, the Chinese gymnast we mentioned in this episode. But
like, will it break your man's unshakable faith in himself, and will our hero kind of go like, wow, he's really good, I better improve?
Yes.
It's going to be the point that the Goku of gymnastics is going to keep trying to fight stronger gymnasts.
Dear.
And they mentioned that 6 months have passed since the first episode, and we get a nice little bit of 2003 nostalgia with the coach getting texts from his teenage daughter, and they're both.
I love those jokes every episode.
They're both talking in text speak, and Jotaro cannot understand what either of the messages are saying.
You are.
Be. Fucking what?
Which...
Why did you not spell the words out? And just the thing of the is like, hey, will you come to the gym meet? And she's like, if you give me lots of money. And I was like, I'll increase your allowance. Am I too soft on her? But he hasn't picked up any of the messages, so he's like, cannot advise, coach.
So which was good because there's a joke on Dave Gorman had along those lines about how like those two generations use text speak, but the generation in the middle don't.
I think I'm fucking caught like that. I think my older sister tends to text speak and I don't.
Yeah, my mum text speaks.
Skip me.
And me and my brother don't.
Probably because a lot of way messages right now, they don't have like character limits based on the amount of phone credit you got. So you just write out in proper grammar and sentences because you just can.
Yeah.
No limitation setting you like that as much.
Right, that was Gymnastic Samurai. Then let's check in with Niall for Healing Good Pretty Cure, episode 31, Byo-gen's Evolution, Healing Good Arrow.
Yeah, I would have if I'd remembered that came back on the telly.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that. But
we can do it too for the next day. Yeah.
Based on the preview I saw 2 weeks ago, they get a new attack, and it's probably going to be just the thing they need to take out this new kind of giant monster, which as the classic Precure's job, we're going to turn somebody, a civilian, into a monster, and then they got to deal with that.
Well,
should be exciting.
I could briefly tell in Kirimeja they were teasing that your guy who is Pikotaro was going to become a Kirimeja. They thought that he was training to be one, so they were going to help him. And they imagined what he was going to look like. And of course, he was the gold Kirimeja, but he had the big gold scarf like Pikotaro has. Turned out that was not the case. Also, your villainess continues to spank monsters with her whip, which is who is this for?
It's for the dads, I guess.
I would guess, yes.
It's for the person writing it.
Yes, for the person writing it or the monsters watching. Then we've got Moriarty the Patriot, episode 5, The Dancer on the Bridge. This is the last one that I've read. So, one of you guys tell me what happens.
Episode. Was it not as good? I'm kind of curious, like the last one.
The bit I noticed was different is that Moran's sniper rifle was a lot more believable in the anime than what he had in the comic, which was basically an M16.
Yeah, he's one of the. I saw the picture you showed. He's one of the comic was a lot made out of little fucking parts and stuff. Whereas this one was just long wood shaft, long rifle, the tumbler.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like like a Colt revolving rifle from around that time.
Some kind of air rifle. Because the idea was to scare him. Because it was also it was unusually quiet as you find it out the window, so I presumed it was some kind of device like that rather than a full on live ammunition gun.
I guess I'm trying to think at the time how much was standardized kind of guns. Would you have to get that custom made a la Galgo 13, but more so from scratch, or what's the deal?
I think what he had in the anime is more realistic than what he had in the comic. What he had in the comic appears to be technology which was not around in 1866 or whatever it was supposed to be.
Right.
In like the cartridge loading that he's got in the comic. The other big difference, is that he's firing from indoors in the anime out of the window, whereas in the comic there's like a ridiculous shot of him on the balcony, like a full length shot of him half naked firing a sniper rifle
on a balcony in Durham.
In Durham, yes. Wearing only a towel.
Out the window of the pub makes more sense. Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it seemed quite similar. There may be some other stuff about the plot, which is essentially, is it the guy from the university has killed the town girl who was in love with.
There was a lord, I don't know, like 100 years back. They can trace their lordliness, their lineage.
He's some rich noble fancy pants boy.
But he loves a regular bar girl, and he wants to get married to her. And his friend is covering for him being missing for 3 days at the school, and Moriarty's kind of like, oh, where is he? Where's that guy? I guess I'll look into it myself.
Yeah, because the poor girl, she was witnessed cavorting and dancing along the bridge on the stormy night before tumbling to her death into the river. So kind of, to find this dude, does he know anything about this? Moriarty is on the case.
But one of the other teachers is like, hey, don't worry, I'll look into it. Don't go to the cops about it, because you don't want to drag the Lord's name through the mud. I know some of the lads in the police, and I'll get it looked into on the quiet, and no one's reputation will be ruined. You just leave it alone, bud. I'll take care of it. And it's like, this guy is suspect as fuck, because his eyes never open until he does evil stuff.
Yeah. Moriarty goes to the pub, and he speaks to the landlady there, and says, yeah, it was all going well. Like, poor Frida, she was like, head over heels for this young lord, and she never thought she'd get as lucky as that. And then she comes to me, and they're with child as well. The union is blessed, and it's like, oh, they're going to get married, so I'm not going to stand in the way. But then this fella came around one night and just had a talk with Frida outside, and just told her that no, it's off, it's not going to happen. Just forget about.
She didn't get the specifics because it was outside, but she did see that she was devastated by this. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a kind of think, obviously she was devastated, so she
killed herself.
So she killed herself. That was obviously going to be the story, but it's not.
Yeah, he's got the Lord locked up in one of his hospitals. Like, even Moriarty's heavy on the fucking air quotes there. It's just an opium den, essentially, isn't it?
It is,
An opium den under a brothel. This guy's got all the vice locked up. So his thing is he lures young students into this den of vice, and then essentially blackmails their parents to give him money or to release this information to the public and ruin the reputation.
But he's also trying to keep his reputation by murdering people not fucking involved. It's like, she's a bit of an extra thing on that, so I'll get rid of her.
So why does he create the scandal, but then comes along and as a person, I can make that go away for you, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
The boys. Spotted another difference is that it's not that attractive redhead relaying the information in the comic. It's the market stall lady relaying the information in the comic.
I would have liked to seen her again. But when I did see your one, the chain smoking red haired lady, I thought it was like, oh, this is the woman he fell in love with, because at that stage you weren't sure it was the same woman. I was like, oh, she seems good, and she's like, nah, I'm just a cool chain smoking fucking owner of this bar.
No, unfortunately, in the comic, it's the market stall lady smoking a pipe.
Oh, that sounds rad too.
That would be good too, as it feeds into the whole. This is like the network of informants he has around Durham. Like, Okay.
As opposed to the one flower lady. Yeah.
Okay, Agnes, I got a sovereign for you. What do you know? Well, word on the street is that the lady jumped the bridge last night.
Dear. He has to Moriarty to call the boys in. What were the boys doing in London? I feel like your man was with some other woman. Obviously.
Yeah, he was, yes.
Around town.
Yeah.
Tomcatting around. And Fred was being very brooding, perching on the edge of a ruined building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I based on this, I assume Moran's role is I'm the character who fucks in this comic. Nobody else will.
I mean, like,
it'll just be him.
I'm Golgo 13 with a bit of a personality.
Yes.
Like, he's delighted when he shows up in Durham. It's like, are we enacting the plan to overthrow all fucking royalty? And he's like, no, calm down. It's not that yet. All right.
We're not gonna shoot anybody. We're gonna fuck anybody. Oh yes, if you play your cards right, you just do your thing. Because he's trying to like get access to the second story of the pub. He's just like, after he just wallops everybody at cards, it's just like, oh, Mr. Moore, and hey, how about you come upstairs with me for some extra fun? It's like, all right, second story, yeah, oh yeah, I don't mind if we do. And once he's done, having his fun, okay, I guess I'll take out the rifle and start terrorizing this dude so he falls into the river.
So the younger guy breaks him out of the brothel den off screen, and he's just sort of waking up on a bench by the bridge. And then the crooked teacher runs towards him and is like, did you fucking call me here? How did you even get out of the fucking brothel? Okay, come on, we gotta go. And they're haunted by the ghostly apparition of the girl who died.
Oh, Frida! Oh,
how did you survive me dosing you up with opium and then falling in the river and drowning? Ha ha! J'accuse, says Moriarty. You shouldn't have said that out loud, because now I know it was you.
Out loud? Oh, damn my dramatic irony.
And yeah, it was the younger guy in a wig, and it's a good thing it was foggy in Durham that day, because that totally made it extra convincing. And now have a dance with death the same way she died, dramatic irony, but you're dancing because we're shooting at you. Dance, boy, kind of thing. But I did like the visualization of the kind of the ghostly thing that's kind of pulling him around from behind.
The killer was though as he falls in. There's the exact same camera angle as when Frida plunged in. The last thing he sees is her baleful gaze peering over the edge. He's like, oh, that's cool. That's really nice. When it plays up the kind of like gothic horror aspect of it, it's when I really get into this.
Yeah. When it goes for that imagery, whole hog, it's very nice. And yeah, as Moriarty said, it wasn't a job they were taking, but it's our kind of MO to do this shit. Murder actually bad people.
Yeah. We kind of get into it as well about this is the whole war against to tear down a class system, and it's not just the ones that at the bottom or on the lower rungs who suffer as a result. It can be as well. Yeah. The people at this who are otherwise fairly kind of pleasant, like harmless people.
Like this kid's good. He's a good lord, and he would have married this pub girl.
He just happens to be in a well-off family, but because of this system that wouldn't allow them to be together, now tragedy has befallen them. So
yeah, it hurts everyone basically.
The other thing it's missing is the comedic epilogue that the comic has.
I think that wouldn't have suited here.
It's good because it sets up Moran and the kids' Fred's character some more, in that basically they've moved into the house where the Moriartys are staying, and Moran's treating it like a guest house, and so Lewis tells him off that there's a rule that says those who do not work are not to be treated like people. So Fred's out there gardening, and he spent all night picking up your bullet shells on the bridge. So yes, it's basically Moran complaining that he's got to pull his weight when he's not on missions which require him to shoot people. He has to help out around the house, while Fred's in the garden looking at a butterfly land on his finger, because he's the pure-hearted boy.
Pure-hearted boy who gets involved in murder.
He's pretty good with a knife, I think.
Yes.
I know it's like the comics like tend to go into more depth or do it something more interestingly or in a different way. But it just gives me a reason to go like, yeah, I'm going to read them and watch them. But I think I'll do what you said, not read them beforehand, because I might go like, oh, it's infuriating.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be. Anyway, I've read. It's done all the stuff I've read now, so I should be good for the remaining episodes.
Yeah, we're meeting Sherlock Holmes next time. Or at least some other handsome.
Initially, I was worried in this episode where it was like we see the back of the teacher watching Moriarty. I was like, wait, is that Sherlock Holmes? Is he in Durham? What's going on? I thought they were going to introduce him already or something. No. But I was like, okay, they're holding it off a bit. That's cool.
Right, that is everything for this week. What are we doing next week in terms of which day? Wednesday?
In terms of what day? I mean, blah, blah. Wednesday the 18th should be our best bet.
Righty-ho.
By my count.
Okay, I'll leave it exactly where it is in the calendar. So, anything coming up on Secret of the Sailor Madness?
Oh, that's a baseball episode happening soon with our good pal and baseball expert who's actually involved in the sport to some capacity, Jake DeBurka, talking about some episodes of things. We've got The Simpsons. It'll be all about dancing Homer. There will be King of the Hill episode, Take Me Out of the Ball Game, and there'll be Bob's Burgers season 1 episode Torpedo and the way I've already talked about it, Brian, how they kind of leap between the first season of Bob's Burgers and fellow seasons after was a bit of a jump. I'm going to go back and see for myself if that's the case. But that'll be coming up. It's about baseball episodes and non-baseball cartoons most of the time. It should be good.
Good. Coming up on the Dynamite in the Brain feed, we've got another episode of the anime that didn't make us. I don't know when that's going to be out, but that's the next thing which is going to be out. And we are talking on that about Battle Ball Boy Ichiman. We're talking about the 1992 Tetsujin 28 sequel, Tetsujin 28 FX. And we're also talking about Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Oh, okay.
So, 2 things you can only ever see 1 episode of in English, and 1 thing you can actually stream right now on Amazon Prime. Distinctly different. In fact, that Ichiman, it's I believe it's quite hard to see it in Japanese as well. I think there's only that.
I didn't know they touched in 28 FX up on Amazon Prime. We should get on that.
Unfortunately not. No. So that's going to be Gary and Sheena talking about those shows. Otherwise, we'll be back here next week, as Niall says, on Wednesday with more. Let's go. Goodbye.
See you then.
I didn't lose the end your stream button that time.